DCB here, and welcome to a Warhammer 40,000 video. In this video we're going to have a look at the Warhammer 40,000 Command Edition starter set, see what goodies are inside the box, and then I will build the Assault Intercessor Marines from this box. Easy to build one. I'll just build one so you can see how it looks, and then be painting it in my own colours of my own chapter, the Avenging Angels. So first of all, let's open up this massive box, which is one of the biggest starting kits I've ever got. As you can see, it has, well, goodies inside. The particular goodies, first of all, you can see is some scenery. Yes, a starter set with some scenery. And this has never happened before in the previous starter sets. So we got this first bit here, which is like a tank. You got like piping and all kinds of fun stuff. It is numbered for you to build it if you want to follow the instructions, of course. You then got more of the piping, an awful lot of piping. And then you've got like a building with flooring, which is awesome. And there's more bits of buildings and flooring and scenery and stuff, which, as I say, is unusual for a starter set. Of course, we got the command manual. In here we have some of the missions, some of the rules, history of the Warhammer 40,000 universe, a little bit of it, an introduction into the game. There's the whole like contents if you want to read it for yourself. Tells you about the hobby, gives you the instructions about how to build the miniatures in the box, gives you some examples of gaming, bit of backstory, artists, collections. There's the instruction manual, which obviously tells you how to build them, how to play it. Just a basic, beginner's guide. Shows you how to build the Necrons, what bases to choose them on, gives you a few like starter missions to get used to all the different rules, all the good stuff that you need as a first time player. The data sheets with like, where to go on from here, what their rules are. Of course, you also get the main rules in this handy little book. Every single rule you want to know is in there. These are the data sheets for the models that come in the box. That's the Assault Intercessor Marines, the Outriders, the Commander, the Necron Warriors, the Cryptek Storm Slab, the Destroyers, all the good stuff. Of course, we've got the bases for the models to go on. Here we have the Primaris Captain with some like numbers, so you can see the numbers there. That represents to a part. So when you're following the instructions and it has a number next to the part, that's the number that you need to look for on the sprue. There's the Outriders. We'll do them in a different video. There is one bit of the Marines. We'll need that for this one. There are the Necron Warriors. Their sprues. And there's the other part of the Necrons, their destroyers. You get this very nice sort of A6 poster. Very nice. Get more bases for the Outriders, which of course is useful. You get your big circular ones for your big meaty machines for the Necrons. You get 3 of them. You get some dice, always important dice. You need to roll those 6s. You get your own little measuring tapes. Now this is quite cool. I don't know if you can see them, but you get all these lovely little design patterns underneath of the Necron sort of tier language all across both of these. I think that's just a nice little detail for these particular rulers. You get 2 of them, one for you and one for your playing person. Once again, they both have the markings on them. You obviously get your transfer sheet if you want to use some of the transfers for your Space Marines. I'll be using some of the Dark Angel stuff because it's just generally cooler. And then you get this, a proper gaming mat. Yes, not plastic, not paper, not a little bit of foil that you can just roll up, but a proper cardboard play mat. Now, as you can see, it's sealed, and I'm having some difficulty opening it because I have no nails. So I use a knife. Of course, if you are under, if you need some help with a knife, I would recommend getting some help. So basically, if you're under 16, I recommend getting a parent or guardian or older sibling to help you with opening this. But this is a mat and a half. It's a proper gaming mat. Alright, let's take off all the plasticky wrappy bit. I can go recycling it later. And let's lay this out. So it gets big. It gets really big. Oh yeah, look at that. Huge. You've got two sides to it. One side, not so colourful, sort of like a ruin. And then the other side, which is a proper industrial well that's been covered with sand and dust. And you can see buried bits of buildings. And then you got, it's a good space. So you can see those are the two 12-meter walls on each side. Massive thing. And yeah, that's what you get in the box of the Commander starter set. Now I will look into the building of the Assault Intercessor Space Marines, giving you some of the lore.
Space Marines are a new breed of transhuman warriors developed across the span of 10,000 standard years by Archmagus Dominus Beatus Krull. Their creation was perfected on Mars on the order of the Primarch Robert Guilliman in the days immediately after the second founding in the early 31st millennium. Krull used the genetic template of the original Space Marines created by the Emperor for his Great Crusade as the starting point for the development of these new Astartes. However, Primaris Space Marines are bigger, more resilient, physically more powerful, and process faster reaction times than their original Astartes counterparts, now often referred to as the Firstborn. Primaris Astartes are also implanted with 22 rather than 19 gene seed organs, and their gene seed is more resistant to mutation than that of their predecessors. They were developed across the galaxy by Guilliman and Krull during the Indominus Crusade after the opening of the Great Rift in the Era Indominus. They were used as reinforcements for existing chapters of Astartes or to found all new chapters comprised solely of Primaris Marines. Though often the artifacts of the Martian priesthood were these warriors created, by the grace of the almighty Emperor, they are given now to you. Silence your questions, and instead rejoice at the honour done to you this day. You were handed the gift of hope by the immortal master of mankind himself, and you will accept it with sincere and solemn gratitude, lest you be taken for the traitors that you profess to hate. Serash Galean, Emissary Imperia to the Hammers of Dawn chapter. For 10 millennium, Krull has been working on a test set to him by the Primarch Robert Guilliman before he was mortally wounded by the demon Primarch Thorgrim in the days after the Horus Heresy. A new legion of transhuman warriors developed on orders from Guilliman 100 standard centuries past. Primaris Space Marines were designated developed and perfected by the priesthood of Mars during the long inverted millennium. And as an opportunist, but never a fool, Guilliman learned from his mistakes of the Horus Heresy, and he foresaw that the forces of chaos would never relent in their aim to bring the Imperium low. He anticipated that devastating times would once again engulf the galaxy, and knew that warriors resilient enough to stand against them would be needed as never before. That time has surely come, Now, as the Imperium of Man is poised on the brink of annihilation at the hands of chaos, his task is last completed. The Primaris Space Marine is a new generation of hero for this, the darkest age in the Imperium's history. These warriors are the next step in the evolution of the Emperor's Angels of Death, genetically altered for their brethren to be bigger, stronger, and faster, timely reinforcements for the Imperium's armies as the enemies close in for the kill. In the wake of the Abaddon the Spoiler's 13th Black Crusade and the birth of the Great Rift, dividing the Imperium in two. To aid them in battle, these gene-forged warriors are equipped with new arms and armour forged on Mars itself, such as the Mark X Tacticus pattern power armour worn by the Primaris Space Marine Intercessors, which combines the most effective elements of ancestral Horus Heresy pattern of battle plate with more recent developments in power armour technology. The Mark II Crawl pattern bolt rifle, the Arco-Power firearm of the Adeptus Astartes, now re-engineered, recrafted and perfected, the Mark III Burst pattern plasma inductor, a new refined plasma gun, Redemptor dreadnoughts, the Overlord gunship, and repulsor grav tanks. At the dawn of the Indominus Crusade, to retake the Imperium from the advancing armies of Chaos and Xenos alike, Lord Commander of the Imperium, Robute Gilliam, gathered his new armada. Among the elements of the Adeptus Custodes, a small contingent of the Sisters of Silence, and a vast war host of the Primaris Space Marines as he fought to liberate the scattered bastions of the Imperium. Some Gilliam had forged into new Space Marines chapters, whole brotherhoods comprised only of new transhuman warriors. Others he offered up to existing Space Marine chapters. Many of the chapter masters welcomed their Primaris brethren into their ranks, accepting the new reinforcements gladly. Others, though, viewed these new creations with suspicion or outright hostility, claiming that the Emperor's work should never have been meddled with by mere mortals. Fortunately, the Emissaries Imperius, a shield host of the Adeptus Custodes, the elite bodyguard of the Master of Mankind, stepped forward to intervene, stating that these gifts were that the Primaris Space Marines was the will of the Emperor. As heralds of the Golden Throne, they accompanied Gilliam's crusade, many of them taken to the air as Vetulus Presidus, the quicker to deliver the message of reinforcement to the assembled Space Marines. The presence of the Adeptus Custodes also ensured that even the most traditional chapters accepted the Primaris warriors into their ranks. After all, one does not decline a gift from the Emperor's own hand. After all. And that is a bit of the lore of the Primaris Space Marines. Decided to make my own Primaris chapter, the Avenging Angels, using a mixture of reds, golds, and blues. Of course, then putting some blacks over where the belts are, the halves of the chainswords, the handles of the bolt guns, using some of the Hagor fur contrast paint for any sort of leather details, shading it in Nile oil just to give a bit more darker look. It's all quite an interesting design choice. Of course, you can paint your Primaris Marines however you want. This is just how I decided to do it, and I hope that that's given you some sort of help in deciding what to paint your Marines. But here they are the finished product. This 5-man squad of assault intercessors led by this lovely sergeant here. You can see hopefully the difference of the eyes, the colours. I've decided to put the transfers on of the Dark Angels because reasons, but there we are. You can see the differences, the dark blue of the Aquila. I've decided to go with a lovely muddy base so that helps them stand out a bit more. But yeah, I hope that you've enjoyed this video. As always, do feel free to leave your comments and thoughts in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Enjoy your model builds and paintings, whatever you decide to do. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And until the next one, this is DCB for the Emperor.